Hello everyone, I'm Julia. I'm from group 7. So today I'm going to do a presentation for our group. Okay, for our group we only have two members. First is me, Julia Yudin, and the second is Elesta Fedra Lin Robin. Okay, so for our slide title is Malaysian National Education Philosophy FPN and Teacher Education Philosophy FPG. Okay, I will be the one who do the introduction. Okay, for this philosophy, as we know, there are two main philosophy in Malaysia that act as the compass for how we learn and how we teach. Okay, the first philosophy is National Education Philosophy FPN. Okay, this philosophy is to create a holistic education system that nurture well-rounded individuals. Okay, it's focused on balanced student development. For example, it's also acronym JERIS, remembers as JERIS, which referring to just money, which means like physical, emotional in Malay means emosi, in spiritual in Malay means rohani, intellectual, and the last is social. Okay, so for just money, they doesn't want only the student to learn, but they want physically strong, where the student have like sport. For emotional, okay, the student must have to know how to handle their own emotion. Okay, for rohani, it's for like in Malaysia we have like a lot of ethnicity, so it's very important for someone to have spiritual belief, like they are Christian or Muslim or any other than that. Okay, so as intellectual, they must have the integrity or like very knowledgeable. Okay, for social, they must know how to associate with others. Okay, so the next philosophy is Teacher Education Philosophy FPG. Okay, FPJ is to define the qualities and responsibilities of Malaysian teacher. It's more focused on the professional teacher qualities. Okay, so for teacher education philosophy, it's more to teacher. As we know, like teacher is our national builders. Okay, so they highlight the importance of preparing educators who are competent, innovative, and dedicated to fostering student potential. Okay, so this philosophy is very important for teacher. Okay, go to the next slide. The next slide is objective. Okay, I will explain our main objective. Okay, our main objective is to identify the historical development, elements and rules of the National Education Philosophy FPN and Teacher Education Philosophy FPJ. Okay, our other philosophy is our other objective is to identify the core elements of FPN and FPJ. Second is to analyze the relationship between FPN and FPJ. Third is to examine the importance of these philosophies in the Malaysia education system. Fourth is to evaluate the challenges of implementing FPK and FPJ in modern classroom. And the last one is to suggest way to improve the understanding of this philosophy among students and teachers. Okay. Next slide is the history and development of Malaysia National Education Philosophy FPN. Okay, so I will explain to you the timelines during our history and development of Malaysia FPN. Okay, so for the early foundation during our pre-independence and post-independence before 1988, during the colonial era, as we know, schools were largely divided along ethnic lines like Malay, Chinese, Tamil, and English medium institutions reflecting the plural society created under British rule. Okay, so during the before independence, our school divided not divided have like vernacular school, especially for Malay, Chinese, and Tamil. So after independence in 1975, Malaysia faced more challenges of forging unity. Okay, so when this happened, the Razak Report 1956 and the Rahman Report 1960 was written, and this is for make our country unity. So all like ethnic, they must have to agree. So this is really important. The report is really important because they laid the groundwork for national education system. Okay. So the next is the birth of national education philosophy. How national education philosophy created during in 1980. Malaysia recognized the need for a more comprehensive visions of education because of our rapid modernization and globalization. Demand our citizens who are not only knowledgeable but also morally grounded and socially responsible. So in 1988, national education philosophy was officially formulated. Okay, so the next is, we go to the next slide, the consolidation and integration. During 1990 to 2000. Okay, so this FPM became the guiding principle for our curriculum design, teacher training, and educational reforms. So this FPN influenced initiatives such as Vision 2020. Okay. So the last one is reformation in the Malaysia education blueprint on year 2013 to until today. Okay, so Malaysia education blueprint was reformed the FPN as the foundation of all educational reforms, which is also incorporate the global benchmark from UNESCO and OECD. Okay, so it's also emphasized the 21st century skill, equity, and international competitiveness, ensuring that Malaysian students could thrive in a globalized world while remaining rooted in national value. Again, thank you. So the next slide will be presented by my team member, Elisa Petralin. Thank you.
History and Development of Teacher Education Philosophy, which is FPG. Early context, teacher training before FPG. In 1957 until 1980, Malaysia prioritized was to meet the growing demand for teachers in expanding schools. Teacher training was largely pragmatic, focused on producing sufficient numbers of educators with basic pedagogy skill. The Razak Report 1956 and Rahman Talib Report 1960 emphasized the role of teacher in promoting national unity through a common curriculum, and the use of Malay as the main of instruction. Formulation of FPG 1988. In 1988, Teacher Education Philosophy FPG was officially announced, designed to ensure that teachers not only impart knowledge but also serve as role models who embody moral integrity, professionalism, and creativity. Emphasize that teacher must be knowledgeable and skilled, ethical and responsible, committed to holistic development, dedicated to lifelong learning. Integration into teacher training in 1990 until 2000, FPG became the foundation for teachers' education programs in college and university. So now, so the education program is not only for primary or secondary school, but over the year it's expanded to college and university. Teachers training curricula were redesigned to align with FPG. The emphasis moved towards student-centered learning, reflective practice, and continuous professional development. So this is the timeline from early context, teacher training before FPG, and formulation of FPG in 1988. After the integration into teacher training in 1990 and until 2000, reformation in Malaysia Blueprint 2013 until 2025. The similarity between FPN and FPG is holistic. First is holistic development. Both ideas focusing on helping a person grow in all areas such as thinking, feelings, belief, and body. FPN applies this to students while FPG applies it to teachers, ensuring educators themselves embody holistic qualities. Moral and ethical foundation. Rooted in belief in God and moral values, both philosophies stress ethics and integrity. Integrity. Teachers under FPG are expected to model these values, reinforcing the moral dimension of FPN in classroom. A third one is nation building goals. Both philosophy aims to produce citizens who contribute to national unity and development. FPN envisions students as responsible citizens, while FPG positions teachers as nation builders, shaping those citizens. What is commitment to lifelong learning? FPN encourages students to be lifelong learners. FPG requires teachers to continuously improve their knowledge and skill, ensuring they remain relevant in a changing world. Differences between FPN and FPG is scope of application, which is FPN apply broadly to the entire education system, guiding curriculum, policy, and student outcomes. Meanwhile, FPG applies specially to teachers' education and professional development, shaping the qualities and responsibilities of educators. Second is primary focus. FPN focuses on learner aiming to produce balanced individuals who can contribute to society. FPG focus on the teachers emphasize professionalism, ethics, and pedagogic competence. Third is role in implementation. FPN serves as the philosophical foundation for national education policies, including the Malaysia Education Blueprint. FPG serves as guiding principle for teachers training institution, ensuring educators embody the values of. Last but not least, professional emphasis. FPN stress holistic student development. For example, in school, a student not only studies subjects like maths and science in thinking, but also joins sport or physical, learns good value like respect for spiritual, manage emotional, and work well with friends, which is social. FPG adds a professional dimension requires teachers to be skilled, proactive, and elective. That's it. Thank you.